It's so important, bro, to be one of those people that the action is even better than the talk. You feel me? It's a lot of people that talk a good game and it sounds sweet.
Sounds good.
It sounds amazing, but it's another thing to actually see a person moving in that talk and actually taking accountability for their actions and doing things that promote everything that I speak. You know what I'm saying? And so I just want to make sure that before somebody else check me, I'm checking me. You feel me?
I done been through so much shit you couldn't fantasize it. Trying to speak on what I lost, but I could never find it. I'm sorry if I get that love that I
Welcome back
can't
to Opinionated, the podcast, season 2. I'm your host, Joshua Hicks, and alongside me, as always, my brother from another mother, Ree Washington. And today, we are shooting from the Fabulous Society in Kansas City. And today, our special guest, we had to bring him back.
Yes, sir.
You know you a special person when we bring you back twice.
Yes, sir.
Mr.
Yes, sir.
Ryan Harvey.
I appreciate you, my brother.
How have you been, Ryan?
I'm amazing, bro. I can't complain at all. I'm happy to be with my beautiful black brothers again.
Yes, sir.
This is a dope experience, and I'm glad that the elevation is real for you guys in a beautiful establishment with a beautiful background. Can't do no wrong.
We're moving up in life.
Yeah, that's what it looked like
we
to me,
first
bro.
had to get the microphones, and now we got the background of art. We moving
it
up.
was just me and you the last time, but now we
Exactly.
got the bro over here.
I
this
had
time.
to, man. I had to take the opportunity. I had to give it to you guys last time. I felt that as authors, I think that was important to share that connection.
Absolutely.
Solo, but I had to hop on.
Yeah, we got to get you on here this time.
So
boy.
Ryan, since
Yeah.
we last spoke, man, tell me what has changed in your life.
Oh man, that's a good question. Man, not too crazy of amount of a change has been happening. I've been selling the book like crazy. I've sold over 300.
And give us the title of that one more time.
Creating Your World. You can find that on Etsy. It's on audio platforms. I got an audio book now. I think before when I talked to y'all the last time, I only had the ebook.
Yeah, you just had the ebook.
But I went through the process of actually creating an audio book for the ebook, which gives even further detail and tools for people to use to strengthen their life, man. So I came out with the audio book, did a couple interviews in New York about the book,
Man,
did an
that's great.
interview in Startland News about the book, and got an opportunity to work with the former president of the school board out in the Hickman Mill School District,
Okay.
working at the Leadership Academy, helping kids with leadership, self-accountability, and self-improvement. So I've been just really staying on the grind, bro. Everything that I've been saying in that book, I've been using and creating my world as we speak.
And a lot of what Ree and I will be talking about this season is the younger generation behind us. So you just stated that you was talking with the old president of the school board.
Yeah.
And just tell us a little bit about how, it is for you to just give back to the youth.
It's extremely important, me being a person that didn't have my father, my grandfather, or my older brother for most of my adolescent life. The things that happened to me because of my rash decisions, I understand what not having a compass will do to anyone, right? And so for me, I just want to be an example of what a strong black man looks like in the most positive and authentic way possible. And for a lot of our kids, we don't get to experience that. We don't get to meet and have access to those type of people. So I just want to be a bridge to those individuals.
Not to cut you off, I was actually having a conversation with a gentleman yesterday, and we was actually talking. It's weird how we had it yesterday, but you spoke about that. And one thing I kind of brought to his attention, I was like, you went through what you did in your life for a greater purpose, and
Absolutely.
you had to go through all of that to make a difference later on down the line, whether you wanted that or not. That's kind of the cards that were dealt. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I think, again, how you said that you use everything that you writ in that book, everything that you wrote down, like you use it. And I think that's the biggest thing, like living through your purpose.
Absolutely. It's so important, bro, to be one of those people that the action is even better than the talk. You feel me? It's a lot of people that talk a good game and it sounds sweet.
Sounds good.
It sounds amazing, but it's another thing to actually see a person moving in that talk and actually taking accountability for their actions and doing things that promote everything that I speak. You know what I'm saying? And so I just want to make sure that before somebody else check me, I'm checking me. You feel me?
And that seems like that's the hardest thing to do is to self-check yourself.
Yes.
You know, look in that mirror and say, okay, who am I as an individual? You know, you are a person. When I first talked to you, I found it, you know, soothing that you were so comfortable with who you were in your own skin.
Absolutely.
But how did you get to that point? Did you always have it, or was it something where you had to work and grind to get to?
To be perfectly honest, bro, I was very insecure as a kid. Physically, I was insecure. I didn't really become actually confident until I got a better mindset.
Okay.
Right? Because without that, I was feeding myself all negative things. I didn't have my dad around. So that self-confidence, that building of self-confidence, you could do it attitude, I didn't have. Right? And so my mom wasn't I wouldn't say she wasn't the best, but we didn't have the best relationship.
Right.
So I didn't get that from her. So I was bumping my head a lot, bro, honestly. And so I think I can relate to a lot of our kids right now where I used to be. I was kicked out of high school. I had to go to a military school. I was at risk of going to a juvenile detention center at 16. And so it was a lot of me I can see in these kids. And I know that if we give kids just a little bit more access and resources, just imagine what they can do. I mean, they can get on YouTube and look up dance videos and all that stuff. But what if we change their mindset to say, yo, if you want to sew, like they got YouTube videos where you can make money right now learning how to sew. If we can just transition you to just type something in different. The access has always been there, but what are your fingers doing to type in some different levels of access? So really trying to get kids to think about things more strategically instead of instant gratification.
See, I think people like you are special, but also slept on. You know,
I agree, Brody.
You know, I think it's one of those things nowadays where, bro, like, if you don't got a blue check mark, you ain't playing basketball, you ain't rapping, you ain't getting acknowledged the way you should.
Absolutely, bro.
You know, and it's kind of, you know, I actually got a portrait of Mike Holston on my leg, you know, added to, you know, my collection. And one thing that I kind of talked to Josh about is just like, man, he is paving a way, you know, to be yourself, like, you know, young black boys, you know, to be themselves. It's cool fucking with animals. What black person, you know, like really fucking with animals? We scared of dogs.
Like the Tarzan dude.
They're the real Tarzan.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Michael, that's his real name.
That's his real name.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, you know, I was having a conversation, it was just like, nah, it's cool to be yourself. Like he's cool messing with animals. He's not trying to be nothing else. He's not, you know what I'm saying?
Bro.
But he does everything else too.
And there's this great commercial that's out right now. I can't remember what it was promoting, but I remember that it was saying, they were showing, you know, black kids, and they were telling young black kids, hey, look, these hands, it can get you more than just carrying a football or shooting a basketball. These hands can, you know, do woodcraft.
Build
these
concrete,
hands
all
can write
type
a book.
of stuff. Make tables.
You know,
something.
Yeah, exactly. And we need individuals. These kids today, they get a bad rep. Because we look at them and we're saying, okay, they called our generation lazy. But if we were lazy, okay, they're even more lazy because all they do is just do social media. But no, you just hit it on the head where you said, man, these kids can look up anything and learn any skill and talent.
They so smart, bro. They just do it in a different way. Like, I'm 36, right? So I remember like internet being introduced. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember cell phones being introduced and the whole process to get to this point. Not to sound like crazy old, but I can see how kids my daughter's age can be in a position to, as soon as they are born, already have access to the technology.
Yeah.
So they ain't got to worry about Yahoo Messenger. They ain't got to worry about that. LimeWire. They ain't got to worry about none of BlackBerry. MySpace, Black Planet. They ain't got to worry about none of that. All they got to worry about is what's in front of them and what they have access to right now. And to speak about homie Tarzan, man, listen, if we had more people willing to be their authentic selves, bro, when I see him playing with any type of animal, kissing the animal, we have so many black people be like, bro, I ain't getting in front of no tiger. I ain't dancing with no, like doing none of that. And he's like happy, bro.
Bro,
but do you believe
he lives through it?
Bro, when I see him happy with an animal, I look at myself and say, yo, how can I do anything in my life and experience that?
But do you believe the reason why we are like that as a group of people is because we're not introduced to things like that? So, you know, for instance, like, you know, a lot of kids in the inner city, they never been to the zoo. They never seen lions.
Bro,
and
they
tigers.
have. No, don't say that, bro, because on free day,
Uh-huh.
on free zoo day, all the kids from the hood is at the zoo. I swear to you.
Hey,
All right?
I mean, you can attest to it more than I can because you have a child.
They at the zoo. So it's not about that. I think if we get kids to see that it's cool to do those things, because I'll ask my daughter, bro, hey, let's go out and do this. And she'll be like, no, I don't want to do that. You ain't never done it before. I don't want to do it. Right? Like earlier this summer, I asked her to be a part of a camp where they teach you how to be an actress. And I'm like, yo, this would be dope. You know, you ain't never done this before. This is something new for you. No, I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, kids are scared of trying things.
Yeah.
So you almost have to push them
They're
into
scared of
experiencing
failing.
things. Yes, bro.
failure. Yeah.
Yes, bro. They are so scared of it that before they ever experience anything new, they'd rather just say no.
I think it has that bad, not to cut you off.
No,
I
you
think
good,
it just
bro.
has that bad image to it. Like, we are older, so we look at failure as growing. We look at failure
Absolutely.
as, you know, taking opportunities, taking risk, and we know we're not going to be successful at everything, as I've said prior. You know what I mean? So we look at it differently. Like, okay, cool, I can get my feet wet. I'm going to learn something from this. I think they look at it differently. Like, you know what I'm saying, with the whole, you know, social media is a big influence, and looked on getting picked on. And, you know what I'm saying, they looked at being bad mouth against. And I think that's why I think their image is different than ours.
Yeah.
They
And
look
to
at
touch-
it differently.
And let's touch on a little bit about mental health, right?
Mm.
So you were saying you can relate to a lot of these kids nowadays because when you were growing up, you had lack self-confidence. You know, just touch a little bit about that.
It was, you know, even in this day and age, authenticity is hard, right? Being your authentic self, like no fear, no shame, like that's hard for a lot of us to do because we haven't even taken the time to figure out who that is, what that's about. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things that I've experienced in my life that I shunned off that after I experienced it, I liked it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So is it like, am I like stopping my growth, or am I actually putting myself by saying no? And sometimes it's confusing, bro, because mental health is like self-awareness, right? And in a lot of ways, if we're not doing the things to put ourselves in a better position, we don't have great mental health at all.
Yeah.
If we're not accountable to ourselves, if we're not aware of what hurts us, but what motivates us, we don't really have good mental health.
You know, it's crazy because you say that, but at the same time, I feel like your intuition always knocking at your door.
Absolutely.
It's always telling, like, in your mind, consciously, you're like, nah, I ain't gonna do that, or you shun it off. You know what I'm saying? You kind of play it to the side, but it's knocking. You always had that thought, like, nah, do it, bro, do it. Then you be like, nah. And then later on, you're like, I should have did it.
Yep.
And then you always circle back around to it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like your intuition's going. We don't follow that enough.
No. We don't listen to our gut enough. I think we listen to our mind more than our gut, and that's why we mess up a lot.
And it could be tricky too.
Yeah, our mind will lie to us. Our mind will create a narrative that don't even be true. Think about if you in love with somebody and you ain't seen them in a while, how our mind will create a situation or a narrative that don't even be true.
It don't even make sense.
It don't even make sense. But
They
your
haven't
mind
text
will
back. They must be cheating.
Yeah. Well,
You're like,
think
they
about
might
it
be
so
busy.
deep, and they just might be deep, right? But your gut is on something totally different. If I got to go to the bathroom, like if I got to take a number 2, my gut is not checking with my mind to
Yeah.
see. It's like, yo, you got to go.
Yeah.
Like right now.
Now.
Right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I found myself saying, yo, before I pay so much attention and be so attached to my mind, like I pay attention to my senses and my gut first. Like, what is my gut telling me about the situation?
Right.
Like anytime, like I've done personality tests and all those kind of things, and it always talks about paying attention to your senses and your gut, never your mind.
But do they teach you how to do that?
They never teach you. They never. But how can you teach something that is individual?
Ooh,
You know what I'm saying? It's like just a level of trust. It's like God is not like physically present, but he's omnipresent. So you just have to believe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same with your gut. I think it's that same little knock, as you call it, with your gut. I
Right.
think your spirit is the same way.
Because we even touched on it a little bit in season 1 where we were saying during this pandemic and quarantine, a lot of people were depressed or were going through stuff because for the first time in their lives or for the first time in a long time, they were stuck in their own head with their own thoughts where they had to find out, okay, who am I? Bro. What am I doing? Who am I without this job right now?
Oh, my God.
Since I just got laid off. I've been working this job for 10 years. I've been on the go for 10 years.
What is my gut telling me to do?
But now I'm at home, can't go anywhere, and it's just me. And that killed a lot of people, not literally, but physically and mentally. Mm-hmm. It was hurting a lot of people on the inside because they now, for the first time in a while, had to come up and say, okay, who am I? Who am I without this?
What do I want from me?
But I still don't think people with COVID being over it, I think it's back to their regular written, daily schedules. I feel like they didn't take the time. I feel like that's what the problem is with a lot of people, like that healing process. They don't want to go through it because it takes time.
I don't think people really understand how much of a blessing COVID. No disrespect to the people that unfortunately passed, but I don't think people understand how much of a blessing COVID was. To be able to say, "Yo, I don't have to pay attention to nothing but myself for a while. Like I can realign myself and get re-tapped in and refocused. I don't have like crazy distractions. I don't have all these things going on. I can literally sit here and refocus and get some things together. I don't know when we'll ever have a time like that again, bro.
Man, but you got to think about it, man. I think today's generation or society in general, bro, we live in distractions.
Yes.
Distractions make us feel like we're normal. Distractions make us feel like
we busy.
Right.
You ever go
That's
somewhere?
A fact.
You ever go anywhere, not to cut y'all off, where like
good, Brody.
Your service on your phone, like it goes out right and you don't have access to no text messages, no social media, and the first thing you doing is you start itching, you start scratching because you're like, oh, I need
feeling
this.
Weird. I gotta get some service.
Like now you got to talk to the person either that you're with or you're by yourself.
Right.
And you're saying, okay, for so long we've gone with having something by our side to keep us occupied that now when you don't have that at all, it's weird.
You gotta come face to face with yourself.
Right. And I was actually talking to somebody. They was like, try to keep your phone in your car and go to the bar. Go to a bar one day and pick up a regular conversation. See if you can keep it. See if you can have a conversation with somebody you don't know. You know what I'm saying? And spare the moment. And see if you can keep a conversation. That's how you know if you're really in tune. You can, but most of the time, what people do at the bar, they on their phone.
Exactly.
I mean, I fall victim too. Like sometimes I'm doing what I got to do. I'm scrolling or, we're doing this pool party and stuff like that. I'm on my phone, so I fall victim of that. But at the same time, can you hold a conversation?
Yeah, because I had a female friend one time. She was telling me like she goes out to eat the lunch and dinner like sometimes by herself, and I was like, man, that's so weird. How can you do that? Like, I'll get my food to go before I sit up there in a restaurant by myself and enjoy some me time. And I had to think, like, is that really bad? So I did it one time, and I was like, man, I was having the best time of my life because you're enjoying yourself, but now you get to know what's around you, like what's surrounding you. You're watching other people. You're looking at them. You're seeing how their conversation is going, and you're like, man, I'm looking at all these other tables, and there's a group of people at a table, and they're all on their phone. Why did we go out to lunch then if we're not even going to communicate with one another?
That's a fact.
You might as well go by yourself.
That's a fact. Like I was just in, I've been going up to New York pretty heavy these last couple months. And this last time I was in New York, I got friends that live up there, and so I like to go up there and chill with them, see them, and get a different type of energy. But the thing that I love to do the most to get my senses back realigned is I like to go out there by myself. And the last time I went out there, I'm riding the subway and everything, and my phone died. And I get lost in New York, lost, all right? And while it was uncomfortable, it was the most exhilarating feeling I've had in a while.
It's that rush.
It's a rush, bro. Like my eyes were open, my ears was open, my senses were open, bro. I was paying attention to everything. I was embracing everything, bro. It was crazy how being somewhere else and being lost woke me up. Like really woke me up to finding where I need to be, seeing something similar, bro. It was so much to my senses that it did. Just being lost somewhere that I've never been before and having to find my way. You know what I'm saying? And like how that does something not only for you in a place like New York, but how that does something to your spirit. Like if I'm lost spiritually, if I can be in New York and find myself and find my way, how come I can't find myself spiritually?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And practicing being aware enough of your gut. Because you can't really pay attention on you. You don't have your phone to turn on GPS or none of that. You have to trust your gut, bro.
Because Ree says it a lot. Ree was like, there's so many people that are dead inside.
You have, bro.
And that's one thing. Again, like I feel like everybody tries to fix what's on the
outside so much,
but then the inside is be ugly.
Shit,
ugly.
It's ugly.
You look
bro.
at it, you like. You ever met somebody? You be like, ugh, that's how you think.
That
And look, hold on, and then they not cute no more.
yeah, immediately.
And then you be like, hold on, that don't, ooh.
You think like this? Hold on, you really believe that?
Or you do that to people, or you move like that? Like, nah, baby, like I can't.
And people love to say, well, what did I say? You said enough.
Yep.
You said everything.
But they don't hear it.
No. People don't really hear how negative they sound because we're so used to believing what we say that we don't even realize the effect that it has. If we talking about mental health, first mental health check is listening to the things that you say to other people and yourself.
Yeah. Right.
For that is the first and biggest pill people need to watch. People say, I don't care.
Or I can't.
I don't want to. All type of stuff. I don't feel like it. That will kill any type. Like the dream don't happen overnight.
Everybody wanted to.
Everybody wanted to, but if you don't feel like taking action, it ain't gonna never feel good for you.
Right.
It's never gonna happen. So before I even worry about any type of mental illness or anything like that, I listen to how a person talks to themselves. Like that's the biggest thing for me because I've seen a person cure cancer by the way they talk to themselves.
Because you ever been with somebody?
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, Ree. You ever been around someone and they are talking so negatively about themselves?
Bro, it make you feel sick.
Bro, yeah.
You're like, why are you talking about yourself like that?
I get the feeling weird when I'm in situations like that. My spidey senses get the tingling. Like I can't be around you, not leave. But you know how I am. I come say what's up and I leave. I can't be around
mess
you.
with that, bro. I listen. If I tell you, don't think of a gray horse, what you gonna think of?
Think of a gray horse.
You're gonna think of a gray horse. So if I hear somebody speaking negatively, I can't help unconsciously. I can't help creating that narrative in my mind.
But I'm one of them people too. Like you get to texting me on some negative stuff. I'm always trying to give you that positive reinforcement.
Yeah,
that's just
but
I'm
gonna only go so far.
But I can't keep going.
Yeah,
I can't.
No.
I hate saying the word can't, but I can't keep going. Like I have to like eventually cut that conversation.
If I gotta keep telling you constantly, you're smart, you're beautiful, you're all these. If you don't believe that in yourself, eventually one day, I'm sorry, it's draining.
Yeah,
Somebody's gonna
no
leave.
Doubt. No. Who's gonna want to have to keep?
Yeah,
like I gotta save some.
You.
Yes, like we supposed to be feeding each other. But if you don't believe in yourself, how can you then feed me? What you don't even believe? It's like how can you love me if you don't love yourself? Honestly, if you don't have no love in your heart for yourself, how could I ever expect you to have any love in your heart for me? There is no room. You should be taking up most of that space. I should be icing. You the cake.
Right.
I
Right.
like that one right there.
Yeah.
We need to pin that one.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just supposed to be something that makes the cake just look good. The cake is already good. If I want to be addicted to it as soon as I taste it. You know what I'm saying? But I can't do that if you ain't went through the necessary steps in order to make your cake, bro. If you ain't said, yo, how can I take out the eggs, the flour, and put in sacrifice and determination to how can I help you? Because I'm on something positive. I'm on motivation. I'm on inspiration. I'm on inspire. I'm on sacrifice. I'm on determination. I'm on love. I'm on peace. Like if we not on that, we can't be around each other.
We can't.
I got standards for my life.
No harm, no foul.
No, but I'm not on boundaries no more. I'm on standards. A standard, like your parents had standards, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So when you went to school, you knew without a shadow of a doubt, like, yo, even though my parents ain't here, I know they got a standard.
And I know when I got to go home, I got to answer to it.
And I got to answer to that standard. Boundaries is nothing. Boundaries is nothing. I want to live on standards of myself, and I make other people.
I see a lot of people, especially now. I was coaching girls basketball. I had a player say, "Coach, your expectations are too high of us." And my dad, he's the head coach. I was the assistant coach at the time.
You could take that jersey right the fuck off.
And we looked at each other.
Man.
And we had to step back because we said, wait, what? Never in my life of playing sports have I ever told a coach your expectations are too high. But then we had to dig a little bit deeper. We closed that locker room door. Got a team meeting. Why do you think our expectations are too high of you? Nobody ever had expectations of me, sir.
Start at home.
Start at home.
Start at home.
A lot of these kids, and we got to circle it back to this generation because a lot of these kids don't have expectations of themselves because they don't have expectations at home. So when somebody else has expectations for them and it's outside of their inner circle, it scares them.
It makes them insecure.
Very.
But I'll tell you one thing I've seen from, dealing with kids these last few years, that if you stay on them, it's actually what they want.
Oh yeah.
They like
sure.
it.
They love it,
everybody
bro.
Everybody loves discipline. Everybody loves structure.
Man, just to speak on that, man, my godson Isaiah, he was at his friend's house, and his friend was getting yelled at. He walked up to the parent like, I like that. Like, can you yell at me? Like, I like that you just yelled at him because he never been yelled at, and he ain't never been talked to like that. He liked that. He's like, can you yell at me? And when my best friend told me that, I was like, what? She was just like, he went up to the parent and just like, the kid don't like it because he probably get yelled at a lot or whatever, but he's never been yelled at. So he looked at it in a different light, you know what I mean? And
wow.
Just to kind of touch base on what you said, I think people, I think people play with boundaries. And then when it comes to a standard, I think
you can't play with no standard, bro.
I think it's you
can't play with a standard, bro. You cannot play with a standard.
Because see, boundaries,
bro.
You can always say, "Oh, I didn't know."
Yeah,
you have that standard.
Oh, you can't.
There ain't no excuses.
Bro.
You knew.
You can't run away from.
You knew, bro. You knew how I treat myself. That there's a level of a way that I move, bro. So for you to come at me with anything less than that, you were playing.
And a lot of people, even our age right now, older, they don't have those boundaries. So when you sit up there, a lot of women, and I'm just talking from my personal experience, they ain't have no standards because they ain't have no boundaries. So when you sit up there, baby, what are we doing? We wasting time. They look at me, oh man, you just so sure of yourself. I said, because I know my standards, I know my worth.
Come on, man.
One woman told me one time, she said, Josh, you think you guys give the earth? I told her, I said, you would think so too if there was a book in the Bible named after you.
Hold on, we gotta stamp that one too. We gotta stamp that one.
But no, I mean, when I told her
that
I said, no, my parents, they fed me this confidence.
Right.
And when I was from a young age, they fed me with this confidence and self-esteem of you are somebody, you are important, you matter. Whatever you're doing on this on this earth, it matters.
But that's why we created this platform. That's one thing that we've always stuck true. When we created this, that you're somebody. You don't got the blue check mark, but you somebody to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And you somebody to a lot of people. And myself. You know what I mean? So it's like you are somebody. So you should walk with that. And you just to touch on what you said, I think when I tell people when they ask me what I'm looking for, I look for somebody like me, who morals, values, all that. I look for somebody like me because I know how hard I'm gonna ride for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? It comes back to that standard. Like,
would
this
you
is my
date
standard.
you? Absolutely.
Exactly.
Would you want somebody like you? Absolutely.
At the same time,
I don't quit. I don't fold.
Do
I got my flaws?
Exactly,
Absolutely.
exactly.
But I'm accountable to them, and I want to get better.
Right.
I mean, how could you lose after that? Because nobody's perfect, but if you're accountable to your flaws and you want to get better, I don't see how anybody can knock that because we all are on that same road, bro. It's just accountability, change, and effort, bro. Evolution. That's it. In any way, shape, or form, that's what it cuts out with financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, anything. If you're a person that you feel like you need to lose weight or get into a better physical stature,
right.
Of course, it's accountability, right? Change, then action.
I think flaws are just sometimes, out of shape characteristics of a person.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it.
Pin that, Brody.
That's how I look at it.
Pin that, Brody. I also think flaws are necessary things to add to a person's authenticity. You know what I'm saying? Like, we think about how much people are going to get their body done to look the same.
To have that same mindset.
To have the same body structure. Like,
you paid all this money to look great on the outside.
To look like somebody else.
But the inside is free.
Not to look like you, but to look like somebody else that you thought looked good. But not to look like you. Like, the individuality is absolutely gone, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy how much, like, being like, your flaws are what make it. Like, I want to be able to win a poker game with 2 clubs. I don't want to always have 2 aces to feel like I can win, bro.
Right.
And in this society, it feels like you got to have all of this
just to win.
Just to win.
But you losing.
But you losing, exactly.
But you
because
losing.
if you had the two clubs, then the two clubs will work. Come on, the two clubs, you have to have a different mentality holding up two clubs and still feeling like you're going to win. That's a total different mentality. And watching other people, right, where they got their deck of cards, and I'm like, yo, I'm about to beat you with two clubs. You know what kind of level of focus and belief you got to have in yourself to look at, not know what you got, not know what you got. Know that I got flaws, and I'm going to still win with two clubs.
Yeah.
Right.
Bro, we got people that's saying the only time I can play is when I got two aces. If I ain't got two aces, I'm throwing my hand in, not knowing that you could have won with this if you just learn how to play it.
Just learn how to play it.
Just learn how to. Everybody is doing. Bro, instead of learning how to do what I can do with this, let me figure out how to learn how to change this so I can do it without even having to think about it. Now we got OnlyFans. Think about this, bro. Like, we got a site that's a pimp for women. Like, instead of working, we got access to just do it like this. And it don't
I
make no
had
sense,
somebody
bro.
ask me, you gonna support me? Yeah, I support something you do.
Mhm.
For sure. You support something I do, I got it right.
Absolutely,
Right back.
absolutely.
So you gonna subscribe? No.
No.
So I'll do something else.
A month?
I'll do something else.
You wouldn't pay the $15 a month?
No, not at all. I'll support anything else you do, but not that. You need to get. I'll give you 15 to the gas tank.
Yeah, but
support
I
you.
don't
If
want
you
to
gon-
support that.
I can't support it.
I can't support that. I don't want to support that.
What am I supporting?
Oh
It's-
man,
it's
that's so tricky, bro.
That's
Because
a slippery slope.
yeah,
Right now.
because it's become like, if you say anything about it, you're attacking a person. You're attacking who they are as a person, like what they've chosen to do. It's almost like body shaming in a sense. Like we have become so open with our sexuality and what we're willing to show the world that there is no secrets no more. But it almost feels like we're going back into like Greek times, though.
There ain't no secrets out loud.
That's a fact. But it honestly, like the Roman times and stuff like that, when people, it feels like it's going back to that era of like openness and like, yeah.
There is no wondering how someone looks.
No. It's wide open and comfortable and fests and yeah, bro. It really, like, if you do your research, it really is starting to feel like.
Is that bad though? I think it has its pros and cons.
It has its pros and cons of like openness, but disease is rampant as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So everything has its good and bad.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I got this closing question for you, Ryan,
Shoot.
because we touched on so much.
Yeah, this
in
is always good
short
having these
little
conversations
episode,
with y'all.
But when do you feel like you'll be your whole self?
Ooh. I got an answer for that. I think I'm my whole self when I'm attached to my battery. And what I mean by that is, once we leave this beautiful establishment, we're going to get into our cars, right? And our cars has two sides, a negative and a positive, right? And I've never seen a car work with two positives. I've never seen a car start with two negatives. You need the negative and the positive, right? If your battery is dead, you take it to O'Reilly's, they say you don't have no juice, right? So for me, I like to believe that I am my battery to my own car, right? The negative situations that happen in my life are going to happen. The thing that I do have control over is a positive mindset, right?
Yeah.
And if I can do that, I'm my whole self because I got the juice to do anything that I want, go anywhere I want, and live anywhere I want.
You can answer that question now.
Mr. Ryan Harvey, please tell people how they can get in contact with you.
You can get in contact with me at Ryan S. Harvey the Great on IG, Ryan S. Harvey on Facebook, and transform at RyanSHarveyInspired.com as my email. And if you have, I do mentoring, consulting, and business consulting as well.
My melanin brother, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. He goes by the name of Ree Washington. My name is Joshua Hicks. This wraps up another episode of Opinionated, the podcast, season 2. Love, always.
That little
She said, why is it when I call that you always hit decline? Cause every time I pick up, it's the same thing every time. You ask me how I'm doing, and I tell you that I'm fine. Trying to match these demons that I sing about every night.